Welcome to AMS Talks. I'm joined by Rick Bacon, CEO of Aquametrology Systems. Today he'll be talking with us about the true cost of hexavalent chromium treatment and how new technology innovations ensure that utilities will no longer have to choose between compliance and affordability. Rick, thank you for joining us today. I wonder if you could start off by giving us a little of the regulatory environment.
For sure. So this really pertains to California. And up until a couple of years ago, there was a strict regulatory limit, 10 ppb, for the presence of a known carcinogen, hexavalent chrome, in groundwater supplies. And this affected hundreds of communities across California. However, it turned out that the cost of treating, removing hexavalent chrome down to this limit looked like it was going to be prohibitive, both for large utilities and also very small utilities. And so there was a court case, the result of which was that this regulatory limit was stayed, that no longer prevails, and the federal limit, which is much higher, the total chrome, was reintroduced, and that's where we are currently.
So the state of California has been reevaluating that lower limit and recently has published a white paper. Now I understand AMS has submitted an official commentary?
Yes, the case. We, during that period when a range of new technologies, or established technologies, were being evaluated for their effectiveness in removing hexavalent chrome down to that regulatory limit, our real-time monitoring technology for chrome 6, hexavalent chrome, was being used as part of that evaluation. And it became apparent to us that those treatment technologies were very, very expensive. And in the intervening period, since the time that the regulatory limit was stayed, we've invested a lot of resources, time and energy in developing a low-cost solution. And so part of our response commentary on the white paper was to bring to the public's attention that now exists a very reliable, cost-effective, intelligent treatment system for removing, actually eliminating hexavalent chrome, not just removing it to below 10 ppb, which is very cost-effective, even more, by several factors, than the technologies that existed 2 years ago.
Well, given these new innovations, it certainly seems essential that the cost analysis for different treatment type systems would have to be like for like, fully inclusive of lifetime cost and the entire system. How would that might work, in your opinion?
Well, one of the essential things is to compare not just the capital costs, but also the lifetime costs of these systems. And what do I mean by that? So capital costs are everything that's in the hardware, if you like. And in a lot of those costings done 2 years ago, there was no inclusion of real-time monitoring to ensure that those treatment systems, which are prone to failure, were operating as they should. So like for like, in terms of capital costs, should include real-time monitoring. On the operating cost side, the traditional systems have lots of costs associated with them, which are going to be there for the 10, 15, 25 years of the treatment system's life. And those costs are many, and sometimes they get forgotten. So just to run through a few of them that tend to be forgotten, there's the cost of chemicals, obviously, for treatment is obviously one thing that's pretty obvious. However, it's really taken account of the fact that those chemicals degrade with time while they're in storage. And as a result, higher dosing of those chemicals above the theoretical dose is often required. Those treatment systems also have a lag time between when they get turned off and when they start up and are back into equilibrium and delivering safe, clean drinking water. During that period of time, that water that's treated until it's back in equilibrium is lost. So that drives up the effective cost of treating water. And many wells operate in a stop-go basis. It's just the way they're used. And unless that inertia is taken account of, which can lose 15 to 20% of the amount of water that's being produced, that's another substantial cost. Waste treating the waste. So it's fine to say the system can reduce hexavalent chromium to below 10 ppb or wherever, but if that's producing hazardous waste that has to be disposed of under very strict conditions, that can be a significant cost and commitment, burden for the city that decides to adopt that system. Labour to operate the system, manage it, supervise it, repair it, all of those costs are there as a consequence of the initial investment. So when these costs are being compared, they need to be fully comprehensive.
Well, given these economic constraints, especially the ones that many cities are facing, do you have any innovative models for cities to consider for chrome treatment?
Well, the challenge, and it's obviously even more of a challenge today, is finding the capital to fund these investments, quite apart from the ongoing operating costs that we just talked about. And part of our innovation in terms of not only a low-cost treatment system, was to reflect the fact that because we have real-time monitoring, our system is intelligent, we can control the quality of the water that's being produced 24/7. In other words, we can guarantee the water quality. And that permits us to be able to say to utility, well, you don't have to pay us a lump of capital and we're going to walk away. Pay us per gallon of water treated, or 1,000 gallons of water treated. And you only pay us when water is being treated. So if you shut your well down for a month because you don't need it, you won't be suffering the burden of having invested in something that you're not using. You will only pay us for that. And we will fund that. And we will fund that through pension funds or social impact funds, so that utilities of any size are only paying for the water that's being treated to a safe level. And that will ease a lot of the funding burden that many cities and the whole state will face.
Oh, well, clearly AMS is bringing innovative and affordable solutions to a really complex problem.
Yeah, we're very committed to ensuring people have safe, clean drinking water, particularly underserved communities. And we think that these two innovations, the funding side and the treatment side, are going to address that challenge very effectively for consumers that deserve much of the drinking water.
Well, that's good news for us all. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Carlo.